Hello, John Talley here with Partzilla.com. Today we're going to be doing a little maintenance on our 2011 Polaris Ranger 800 Crew. Today we're going to tackle changing out the front diff and then the rear transmission fluid. Pretty simple to do, not a whole lot of special tools required, and I'll call out any hand tools that I use along the way. Now as far as the parts, well, you're only going to need two different part numbers. The AGL fluid and then the demand drive fluid. Demand is for your front, AGL is for the back. So now that I've got the fluid together, let me go crack open my toolbox and we can knock this out. Alright guys, not a lot of special tools required here, but we are going to change things up a little bit and, well, cut a few corners. According to the Polaris service manual, they actually want you to pull the front bumper to access that upper fill location. Well, I don't want to go through all that. So the way we're going to do it is use a long extension with a swivel, and then that'll get us access to that upper fill plug. Now both the fill and the drain are both an 8mm hex, so pick those up anywhere. But the real trick when you're using a swivel, sometimes it'll move a little too easy and it's hard to get it to go in there. So let's show you a little hack on that. To make it a little bit more stable, we just take some regular electrical tape and just go around the swivel point just a couple of turns. Now by doing that, it's still movable, but it'll stay in the position better. So let's crawl into the machine, get those two plugs pulled out, and then I'll show you how to refill it. All right, we are after that little 8mm right there. So when you do this, just make sure it's seated all the way in, otherwise you run the risk of stripping it. Now, I don't know about you, but that was a lot easier than pulling the whole front bumper. You want to remove this first, that way it makes it easier for it to drain out when we pull the drain bolt at the bottom. Now your drain plug looks just like the actual fill plug. It's just an 8mm hex. They have a cutout in the bottom of the skid plate where you've got easy access to it. Once again, if yours has got a bunch of dirt and mud in there, make sure you go in there and pick it all out. That way the tool goes all the way flush, because if you don't, you run the risk of stripping it if it's only inserted halfway. Make sure you clean out the draining pan so you can see what kind of condition the fluid is going to be when it comes out. This is what you don't want to see ooze out. What we're going to have to do on this machine, since this is such rough, nasty looking shape, we're going to refill it with the correct amount, go run it for maybe 5-10 miles, then we'll end up bringing it back in and changing it again. And if it still doesn't look any better, we'll do that one more time to hopefully try to save this box, because this is exactly what you don't want to see. If you're draining it out and it just comes out like a regular dark black oily cover, you're probably okay. What we want to guard against and look for is if it's a milky color. If it looks like a chocolate milkshake, that means you've got water intrusion and there's going to be more work that needs to be done by replacing a sealer tube. So hopefully yours does not look like this. But let's go ahead and get our drain plug back in, and we're going to torque it to 10 foot-pounds. Simple enough. With it in place, we can get it filled back up. Now this is the only real special tool that you're going to need. It's actually made by Polaris, and it's called a jug pump, but believe it or not, it actually works if you cut off the pickup tube by just a little bit on the regular quart-size container. When you go to fill this, you want to insert the tube all the way, then back it off maybe 1/8 of an inch, and then fill it slowly. If you try to force it in there too quick, it's just going to run out, like that. The front differential holds approximately 9 fluid ounces, so with 1 quart, that's enough to do this easily 3 times. Now we just want to fill it up till it starts running out, and then that's pretty much it. Now we just need to reinstall the fill plug. Now we're just going to reach back in and torque it to 10 foot-pounds. All right, we're through with the front end. Let's head back and take care of the transmission. It's the same scenario as far as the drain and fill procedure for the back. Of course, the plugs are in a little bit different location. Definitely going to need to clean these up a little bit because I don't want any dirt entering into the transmission itself. Although these are the same diameter and hex size as the front, the torque setting's a little bit different. The range for the front was 8 to 10. For the rear, it's 10 to 14. We are going to take it to the 14 foot-pounds when we go to reinstall. Let's go ahead and pull the fill plug first. This isn't a straight shot, so I'm using the swivel where it does go in straight. All right, it's important to make sure that the hex goes all the way in, otherwise you're going to strip it. Now we're going to go after the drain plug. Keep in mind this is going to make a big old mess because it's just going to flow down into the frame itself. A little bit of material on the magnetic plug, just a nice dark black oil. Now we'll let it drain for a few minutes and then we'll get it filled back up and closed up. She's finished draining. Let's get the drain plug back in place. 14 coming up. I've switched over the pump to the AGL fluid, and according to the manual, it holds 33.8 ounces. Of course, there's 32 ounces in a quart. Let's see if that's enough to fill it up. Just like the front, you have to pump it in there slow, otherwise it'll just spit right back out at you. Guys, I don't think it's going to let me put any more in there, so just 1 quart should be more than enough to refill yours. That is as much as she wants to take. All right, let's get our fill plug back in. It's a little off axis because of this frame rail here. Just be careful that you don't cross thread it. $14 coming up. We're down here, let's clean up a little bit. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps this one up. And as you can see, it is very important to do your regular maintenance items on a correct interval. Otherwise, well, who knows how long that front differential is going to last. I'm not going to look forward to having to replace it should it go out. But if you need any parts or tools for your machine, why don't you come see us at Partzilla.com and we can get you taken care of. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them in the section below and I'll do my best to answer them. And according to my torque wrench, it's time for me to go home, so y'all have a great day. See you later.